Okay, guys, back with the second review. All right, so let's talk about types of notes. Now I'm going to do this, and I may not end up using it, but I discovered a neat trick doing the last video because I'm learning this as I go. We all are, really. This is a new thing for everybody. I don't know how that little dot escaped over there. It's not Bob Ross. We're not going to have any, we're not going to have any happy little dots floating around. Hopefully you guys probably don't even know who Bob Ross is. Anyway. Alright, so we're going to duplicate that, duplicate page link, duplicate page link. There we go. Okay, we'll go back to the beginning. Alright, now, let's make sure we understand what's about to happen. We're going to go over 1 through 4 here. Okay, so let's talk about our types of notes and our rests. Alright, so, notes. Pretty straightforward. Oop, don't know where that came from. Alright, so we have 4 types of notes that I'm teaching you. Okay, we have whole, half, quarter, and eighth. Now, we're going to demonstrate with 4. So let me go over this so you understand how this works. Most middle school teachers will teach you this. That the whole note gets 4, the half note gets 2, the quarter note gets 1. Oop. And this one gets 1/2. Okay? And then later you learn other concepts. You learn that, or the whole note could equal 2, or that the half note gets 1 beat instead of the whole note, or however they teach it. Okay, this is how Broom teaches it. Okay? So I want you to follow with me and stay ready. All right, here we go. Now, first off, each one also has its rest, which I'll draw over here. And 8th rest. Okay, now, what you really need to understand is that, let's see, we're going to do it up here. 1 whole note is equal to 2 half notes. And then each half note is equal to a quarter note. And as we talked about in video 1.4, each quarter note is then equal to 2/8 notes. And I'm not going to draw that out because that's going to get really messy and sloppy. But I will try to make a nice picture of this and post it up for you, or find the image and add it to the classroom materials. So, yes, right here it gets 4. But let's say, what if the whole note gets, instead of 4, let's say it gets 8. Okay, well, what's half of 8? 4. Very good. Okay, so now it gets 4. What's half of 4? 2. Very good. And then half of 2 is 1. Say the whole note gets 16. Now then we just keep halving it down. 8, 4, 2. Okay. Now, this goes to what we're going to learn out in 1/6. But for right now, we're going to go back and just kind of stick with notes in general. Okay? But you need to remember how they work. So, having said all of that, let's look at how they're built. Each one has a circle. Most of them have a stem. And some of them have a flag. Now, the other important thing to remember is that stems go up or down depending on whether they are above the staff or below the staff. So, If they're above the staff, the stem points down, as you can see right here. Okay. Now, if I did one right here and say, let's just do a random one here. Right there, points down. So, this, don't know how that happened. Don't know how that happened. Oh well. This is how notes work and look. Now let's flip pages. Let's talk about how rests look. Rests are very specific placements and don't have any kind of letter. So in the test you took the other day, when it said what letter was it, and you had to write, pick from A through G or none, on the rest, you would pick none. If you were writing it out, you just write X. Okay? Quarter and eighth rest. Okay? Rests value equals notes value. So whole note equals 4. Whole rest then equals what? 4. Same thing. Okay? Now, that's about types of notes and types of rests. Again, the parts, circle, and circles can be open or closed. Now, then stem, which is here. Almost all of them have a stem. And then flags, which only eighth notes have, and some other notes you don't know yet. Okay? Now, on this page, we're going to talk a little bit about the dot. Make a copy, duplicate. There we go. Okay, so the dot. I actually don't even need that staff. So, say you have a half note, and we're going to say the half note equals 2 beats. Okay? In that case, the dot, which always gets half of the note's value and adds it on, kind of like a combiner of some kind. If the half note gets 2, half of that is what? Then a dotted half note equals 3. Okay? So, half note plus a dot, just dotted half note. The dot's always going to be to the right of what it is. Okay? Now, it was asked before the last test on dots, can a rest have a dot? Yes, it can. Just sticking with it. Half rest gets 2. I want to color that in because that's not really any kind of value. Add the dot equaling 1. 2 plus 1. I'll bring it down here. A dotted half rest equals 3. Very good. So, all right. We're going to talk about time signature on the next page, and that's going to wrap it up for this review. The dot is always to the right of the note, goes on any note or rest whatsoever, and is always and forever half the value of whatever that note is. If that note gets 50 beats, the dot gets 25. Why? Because half of 50 is 25. Then they're added together to give it total beats. This is how you get weird numbers of beats like 3, 6, 5, 1.5. That's how that goes. Okay? So, let's talk about time signature. This was 1/6. Okay? Well, time signature is 2 numbers. We're going to use 4 and 4 just to make things kosher. Okay? Because that's the most common one. 4/4 is the most common time signature of all time, ever and ever. Okay? Number on top is number of beats per measure. Okay, so that means if it's 4/4, okay, then that means you have a whole note equals 4, and that's a whole measure. You can have a quarter note, a quarter note, a quarter note, and a quarter note, and that's a measure. However, I cannot put a quarter rest in that measure. Why? Because that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's why. Okay? Okay, so you cannot have 5 beats in a measure. Why? Because you only got 4. That's why this is wrong. Okay? This is a no-no. Cannot be done. That's why I put a big marker out on it. All right, now, the bottom number tells you how many beats the whole note gets. Okay? As I said in my last video about this, other teachers teach this very differently. I feel like this is simpler for me because the way they teach it, you still have to do a whole bunch of work to get the correct thing. And eventually it just becomes, it's all going to become rote memory anyway. The way they teach it and the way I teach it is if you live in Compton and you need to go to the district office, you can go down Wilmington and go to Alondra and turn around and come to the district office, or you can go down Compton Boulevard and hang a right on Santa Fe and go to the district office. Either way, you're still going to get there. It's just 2 different paths. Same thing here. So, how many beats the whole note gets? Okay, so now that goes back to what we talked about over in this section. Look at each one of these. If it gets 4, the half gets 2, the quarter gets 1, the eighth note gets a half. Okay? 4, 8, 4, 2, 1. 16, 8, 4, 2. That's how it works. It's always going to work like that. Always and forever, amen. So, that's what the time signature is going to tell you. How many beats per measure and how many beats the whole note gets. The time signature is like how much time there is in a ball game. Quarters are 15 minutes or 12 minutes, or you have 2 20-minute halves. It seems like that. It's telling you the amount of time you have and how it's broken down. Okay, that's all it's going to tell you. But if you don't have a time signature, you don't have music. Okay, I demoed in class several times how they're in ancient times and the times of medieval music. Those of you in 8th period know this. Gregorian chant. You had music without a time signature. You know, it's kind of weird looking. If you Google Gregorian chant sheet music, those 4 words, you should be able to pull it up. So, having said all of that, this is how time signature works. Now, clarifiers. Any number but usually 1 through 15. Okay? This one, 1, 2, 4, 8, or 16. Okay? Only those 5 numbers. Why? There's only 5 types of notes that you need to know, and this one, you don't even know yet. Okay? These are the 4 you know. Because in this one, the whole note's going to get 1 beat, 2 beats, 4 beats, or 8 beats. Okay? The way I teach it does leave the hole of, why can't you have 3 on the bottom? You know, because I told you not to. Because that's experimental music that's way beyond your level. Okay? That's just how it is. It's that far out. So, having said all of that, I think I've blathered long enough. There are 2 specific markers that were not on your last test that I'm going to add. I'm just going to do real short versions of it right here. They are actually in the notes for this section of the curriculum, but I forgot to mention them last time. common time and cut time. Okay, make that a little bit neater there. Cut time. Okay, common equals 4 equals common time. And this one equals 2 equals cut time. Okay. These are the two most prevalent time signatures in all of music, common time and cut time. So, the reason that they are those is just that most music's written in 4/4. Almost about, if I were to say half of music is written in 4/4, I would say that the half of the other half that's remaining is written in 2/2 cut time. Then the rest of it is odd ones, like 3/4, 6/8, etc. And when you read time signatures, that's what you call it, 4/4, 6/8. You don't read it like a fraction. You just put the numbers one after the other. If the time signature is this, you read it like 4/1. If it's this, you read it like 15/16. Okay? No THs on the end, no fractions, nothing like that. It may look like one, it is not one. Okay? Now, I hope you don't have any questions. I think I've nailed everything down. If you do, post them in the classroom. Your assignments will go up in the morning. Should be pretty straightforward for this week, and hopefully these videos cleared up a lot. You can use these videos and then supplement with the other ones. I cannot guarantee I did not leave something out that I left in the other ones, but I can guarantee that everything in there here will be on the test. My advice before Wednesday or Thursday is watch all 8 videos. I'm not going to rehash the practice parts of the videos because I thought it was pretty clear, and the grades actually tend to show that you guys got that pretty well. So, having said all of that, good luck. Señor Escobar, signing off.